This actually will be my only podcast for this year. I won't go to any other media appearances.
When you finished with our program, how much did you make in total?
Millions of euros, something around that.
Last time we wrote on WhatsApp, you're like, I exited the company. How much did you make there?
I cannot tell the figure, but I can retire probably.
It sounds really weird. I can almost read someone's mind if I want to. I have some really big plan as well. You tell me one word of your plan, I'll tell you one word of mine. Cristian Dascalu.
That's me.
When you finished with our program, how much did you make in total at the end of it?
Well, millions of euros, something around that. I'm not sure exactly the figure, but I will give like the ballpark like this. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, that was pretty sick. I didn't expect that at the beginning.
I didn't expect that
of
either.
Our journey.
Okay,
Yeah.
here's the crazy part, because you sold together with your business partner in Romania to Romanians.
Exactly, yeah.
And you made millions of euros with that.
Yeah, which was crazy, because now I'm meeting lots of entrepreneurs in Romania, and I see them playing like small games in the business, and I'm like, hey, what's happening? I mean, how do people do not see that, you know? And thanks to you as well, and because we were exposed to the international market and understanding what's happening in there and how to price things and all that, we were able to create a great product and market it in a great way for the people in Romania, and we proved that it is possible in that market as well. No excuses. Yeah.
No friggin' excuses. And I remember, like, you changed so many people's lives. I remember, like, some of your clients bought a Porsche or something. Was it a Porsche? I can't remember.
I think so. I'm not sure exactly what kind of model, but yeah, lots of messages, like people just changing houses, buying cars, living like nomad lifestyle, sending us photos from all over the world. That was epic. Like from the fulfillment point of view, right?
Hell
yeah. Money is good as well.
What's the coolest thing you bought with the money?
I mean, there were some, luxury things, lots of experiences and mentors and access to people. I mean, I would say this is like the coolest thing for me, because I'm very hyped into personal development thing, and getting access to people, like that was the most life-changing thing. Apart from that, I have a Rolex here, which I remember
I forced you to buy.
something along those lines. Yeah,
you bought it in Milan, right?
Yeah, in Milano. Yeah, we went. We were celebrating some milestone. Me with Raul, my business partner back then. I don't remember the milestone exactly, but we were just going from Rolex shop to another, just trying to find one that is good, so we don't wait like months to buy it. Yeah,
that was in, I think, 2019, when you could just walk into a Rolex store and just buy one or two,
Yeah.
Man, I remember when I first bought my first Rolex, I also bought mine plus one for my mentor that I gave him as a gift.
Yeah.
And it was 2018. We just walked into the Rolex store right here in Vienna, and we're like, oh yeah, this one's nice. Oh, how about this one? It's like literally like you go to like a ice cream store, like, yeah, what about this one? And they're like, yeah, just right there. And I put my black Amex out. It was like 35K, and like, ka-ching, thanks. And then I went and bought a MacBook for 6K. So I spent like 50K in one day.
Good day.
Yeah, it was a good day. And then we went on one of these like horse carriages and shot a video on that. It's so funny. But honestly, man, it's been a while. And last time we wrote on WhatsApp, you're like, hey, I exited the company.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's hop on a podcast. Don't even tell me. Like, let's sit on the podcast. So you exited the company. How much did you make there, if you're allowed to talk about?
I cannot tell the figure.
Okay.
But it's good. I'm good.
Okay. And you told me you're not doing anything anymore. So are you retired, or what's the deal?
I'm not retired. I mean, I can retire probably but I mean, for a couple of years at least, like not doing, or maybe even more, for a couple of lives. I'm kidding.
A couple life cycles.
I'm good. So right now, I just took a break, like a couple of sabbatical months, if you want to describe them like this, like where I just sit and do whatever I want. Like I wake up and decide to whatever spa I want to go,
nice.
And meeting people, traveling around. I'm here in Vienna with you now. I'm going to the States in a couple of days, meeting some people there as well. But also this period, it's not like I'm staying and doing nothing, because I cannot stay and do nothing. I'm not that type of person.
Mm.
And it's very creative. Like I create lots of things, and some things might appear soon, but not in the way that people would expect, and I will not disclose them here.
Give us one word.
Um, One
Okay,
word would be like creation, but
Here's what we'll do. I have some really big plan as well. You tell me one word of your plan. I'll tell you one word of mine.
Whoa. Okay. Want to start?
No, you're gonna start.
Well, let's say I would say conquering, but I don't know if
Come
you,
on, man, you're so cryptic. What is it? Are you Genghis Khan here? Or what? I'll tell you mine.
Yeah, let's see.
iPhone.
Are you selling iPhones now?
Bro, I got new iPhone, man. You wanna buy?
You want to buy one?
It's iPhone
It's
16.
Quality
not
or
even out yet.
original man.
My cousin works for Steve Jobs, bro.
I'm training these things because I'm from Romania, so I will spot the originals. Yeah.
By the way, can we open the door just to let some fresh air in from these lights? I'm gonna
Yeah.
go crazy for an hour.
So one thing that I will say is that what I will create is not going to be in the way that people that know me they will expect, and this actually will be my only podcast for this year.
Wow.
Yeah, and
I'm honored.
I won't go to any other media appearances. I will just disappear for a while in terms of podcasts and all that. And I think it's good because I think it wraps up like a good period of my life, and I think you are a good partner to discuss like business things and all that. I don't know if I will discuss this ever again, so I think that would be a cool conversation to have here with you.
Yeah, let's go. By
Yeah.
all means. Okay, so did it come as a shock to people in your company, in your following when you left, or was it kind of like the writing on the wall already?
No, everybody was surprised. I mean, I didn't even know before
So
two
you were
weeks
surprised
before.
too? Oh, okay.
2 weeks before. I mean, I took the decision like very spontaneously. After I read a very cool book. It was a book like it's called 10x it's easier than 2x. It's wrote by a great guy, Benjamin Hardy and Dan Sullivan. I think they are the authors. And there were some things there that they make you create like big life changes and decision. You need to let go to 80% of your stuff in order to pursue your 10x vision. So when I realized that, I had to admit the truth about myself, my situation with the business and the whole landscape. And, it was the right decision, although not very comfortable, of course, to say, okay, this is it. I'm going to put an end here and I'm going to launch into the next thing that I want to build with my life. Yeah.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
Also, I like how you're gonna keep it very neutral. Like, oh yeah, like you don't want to say anything bad about anything. It's like, no, it's the next thing. And it's like you're media trained,
I am, of course.
yeah.
I mean, I've been doing YouTube for years, right?
Yeah.
But actually, it was like the business was in a very healthy spot. Like we were like everything was very well automated. The team was in place, so everything was going very well. Like everything was well. The wheels were spinning in a good direction, right? So that's why it came as a surprise, because if we were like going like bad, anybody would say, okay, it didn't work and now he's moving on. But it actually worked very well, and I mean, I think that's a good place to exit, of course, like because otherwise you cannot really sell if it doesn't
100%.
work. Yeah.
It's funny because for you it sounds so like, of course you wouldn't quit when it's going badly, but that's where most people quit. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like I always say, like you don't have permission to quit unless you're ahead.
Yeah.
You if you treat your life like that, you're always gonna win, because quitting is an easy way to stop something if it doesn't work. But I'd rather make it work first, because then number one, I get the lesson, and number two, I actually know that if I do leave, it's the right decision. Then I left actually because I wanted to do something else or something better, and not just because I was losing it.
Oh yeah, that's so powerful. And exactly, I left at a point where I knew I had the skills and the confidence to know that I can build anytime something similar, or I can make because I know sales, I know marketing, I know to create content and all that. Like I have I have a massive confidence that I can do anything. So it's not about really the what I build or the past. And it's true. Like for the first 2 years, man, I really loved. Like it was an awesome ride with ups and downs. Like going through hell, like getting close to burnout and all that. Like I know a lot of entrepreneurs experience. But those were the lessons. And I think I have a funny mind or something, because anytime I hit like a very good thing where I don't have to learn too many things, or don't I just need a challenge. So I need to go to the next thing and next thing and next thing. Yeah.
How did Raul, your business partner, take it? Was he fine with it? Was he like, I mean, because ultimately also he probably now makes more money profit-wise for himself, but also there's less work, less things done, more on his shoulders. How did he take it?
So I don't know exactly about his situation right now, because I didn't enter in financial details with him. But I mean, we were very lucky to have this partnership in the business for the first years. At some point, we both realized that our visions do not align for long term. So we are still in good terms and all that.
Beautiful. Shout out to Raul also.
Raul, awesome person. And what happened is that I asked myself a question, and we both asked ourselves a question. And the question was, do you see yourself working together for the next 10 years? And if we were honest, for my side, the answer was no. And I think very probably his answer will be no as well, like at that point. So although we were in good terms, our visions were not aligned. I mean, we were a very good partnership, and when you build things, you want to have somebody to talk with and share all these learning experiences. Like when you go into sales the first time, like it's very shitty. Like like when you don't know how to sell and you start selling and get all these random people and all these. I mean, it's great to have somebody to talk with, and I was lucky to have Raul as my partner back then with that. But after a while, after we were at the good point, we needed to grow to 10x, and the 10x vision at that point was like divergent. We didn't have like a congruency, so we could have stayed like a couple of more months or years in that position where we weren't able to be very, very focused. But I think the best thing was like, okay, let's just end this here, this partnership. Let's keep the relationship, and let's move to I will move to other things, because he wanted to go more in depth on that niche. I actually wanted to pivot the business a little bit. And I
remember.
Yeah.
You want to go more personal development direction with more comprehensive, have more broader aspect, and you wanted to go further down programming.
Yeah. I mean, in general terms, there are more details there, but
okay.
It was a divergent, basically vision, and which is cool. I mean, I actually think this was the best decision, because I think the Romanian market needs what we build there, and I'm glad that Raul continues it, because it's a great product and mission for the country as well. I can build something else, and who knows, maybe we'll collaborate in the future on other things, or
I can literally tell just by the way you're talking that it was because a lot of people say, oh, it's we amicably parted ways. I could tell that for you, you're telling the truth, and you're not just sugarcoating it. I can hear it in your voice. I can hear by the way you talk about your partner and about your now ex-business, because a lot of people say it because they don't want to shit talk somewhere publicly, but for you, I can actually feel that. I'm very happy for you, because it's like a successful partnership is just as important as a successful split, so to speak.
Oh yeah.
And I'm happy to see that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, sure.
So you left Romania right after you left the company, or what have you been up to? Where have you been?
Well, I was actually in Monaco when I took this decision.
Oh.
I went to live there for a month. Like, crazy place. Love that. Recommend it to anyone.
In an Airbnb, or where did you live?
They didn't have Airbnbs.
Because it's like a 2-block city.
Yeah, it was a hotel.
You lived in a Monaco hotel for 1 month?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it wasn't the most expensive hotel, don't imagine that. But I wanted to be in Monaco, not because they have another city which is like glued to Monaco. I didn't want that. I wanted to be
like Monaco from Wish.
Yeah.
If you order Monaco from Wish.
Something like that, yeah. So yeah, Monaco, then went to Romania, and then now I'm traveling to the States, and whoever.
Okay.
I will see what's next. I don't know. I just go with the life.
Did you meet anyone famous in Monaco? Run into Lewis Hamilton on the gas station?
Oh
or
no,
something?
no, not nobody that I can recognize
Damn it.
on top of my head. No,
Damn it,
because
Christian.
the circuit was on then. I mean,
The what?
the Formula One was, they were in the States or something, so it was that part. Because I, for sure, I went on Google to see like where do they live.
On Google Maps, you could just type in Lewis Hamilton, it shows you his flat.
Yeah, and I saw like Leclerc's neighborhood, and I actually stayed in that neighborhood.
Wow.
But I didn't get to see him. Yeah.
Crazy.
But I saw a YouTube video with Leclerc going on a spa and doing some sauna or whatever there, and I went to the same thing. So
Damn.
yeah,
If you look closely, maybe you would have found some DNA from him and get your own Leclerc clone.
Make a clone. Yeah, get him as my driver now in Bucharest.
Dascalu Racing,
In Bucharest through the traffic, and swearing with all the people.
I mean, remember we went kart racing when I visited you guys last time in Bucharest. It was a sick place where we went karting.
Yeah, you beat
I won,
me.
of course.
Yeah, he won. Like,
He was all shit talk. He's like, "Oh, I'm really good." Yeah, no. First run, I beat everyone.
oh yeah, and I was very frustrated because I don't know if you knew the circuit or something.
No, I didn't.
So yeah, I was going there for like a couple of times already, improving my time and all that, and I was quite confident. Okay, Max is new here. I will just teach him something.
Yeah.
Because I know you're quite good, like business. You also play guitar and you have great technique there, and I also play guitar and you are better at guitar.
No, I suck at it now. I got.
I don't think so. You say that with karting as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know the track, man. Just stop shit talking.
Come on, man. You should tell me. Like, I don't want to live in this frustration.
In this world. No, I knew the track after one lap. I was like, I know
okay,
where to
yeah.
break. Here's the thing. It's a funny thing. Like, my girlfriend's dad, we bought him, I think she bought him a 10 block for the local karting track in Helsinki. And then he went 10 times there and then bought more times. And he's like, I practiced all the time. I'm really good time, Max. So we went karting. I also beat him in the first lap. Like, not even just beat him with better time. Like, I overtook him on track.
Did you do some racing
Shout out.
while you grow up or something?
No, but, and this is something I've talked about a couple times now. What I want to do is over the next 1 year, 1 year and a half, depending on how crazy the business hustle gets, I'm going to buy a simulator and just go. I mean, I was almost going to swear here. I was go freaking simulate racing, Gran Turismo, whatever.
Yeah.
Multiple hours a day. And then in about 2 years, I want to get my amateur racing license in Germany and Austria.
That's
and then just,
sick.
Join
I want
like
to
Sunday
be.
Cups and stuff like that with like a Porsche, like a renovated Porsche or something like that. And I've even looked it up. You can sponsor your own team. They're relatively cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get like Max Tornow for like 10K on a Porsche Cup.
No way.
And you even get to sit in there during the race. Like you get to sit as the other driver.
So one dream of mine is to sponsor a F1 car at some point. That will be awesome.
That's gonna be a bit more expensive than Porsche Cup, but
yeah,
it's possible. I mean, look, if you look at Haas, they got sponsored by the energy drink that doesn't exist. Remember that? What was it called? The energy drink that Haas was sponsored. They were like an energy drink, and then it turns out it's just some scam company from some bearded guy. Exactly, and then Rich Energy, and he never paid them either.
Wow.
He was like, "Yeah, I'll pay you next season, whatever."
Haas level.
So yeah, like it's possible. Shout out to Haas.
Yeah. So I actually got for my birthday, because I turned 30 this year.
Ooh.
I mean in December, and I got a gift card to go and race a Porsche or like on the Nürburgring track or something.
Oh my god!
Or another track that is close to Nürburgring. I don't remember exactly the name. So I'm really in love with Porsche 911. I can't wait to go there. And
when is it?
Whenever I want. I don't know. I will see after the US trip.
Shoot me a WhatsApp message. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe you'll be around. Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
And then I'll beat you there as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to risk with a Porsche,
to
right?
ruin his birthday.
It's good because I met a guy in the US and he had a Porsche dealership or something.
Wow.
And he told me that he wanted, like, after he went with a Porsche on track, with the 911 on track, he then like realized that, okay, I need to get this car. Like he was so hypnotized by the car. And I also rented it a couple of times.
Me too.
Magnific, amazing. Like
Great
when you like accelerate, it's amazing. Love it.
It's really like Porsche has the engineering of it is just completely different. If you drive a Ferrari or Lamborghini, it's like a fancy, epic looking car, a lot of power, but it feels like there isn't much thought behind it. And then you drive a Porsche, German engineering, and you're like, okay, damn it, this feels like every single millimeter has been thought about. Like how will the wheels respond when you hit the gas? How is it like on high speed? And like especially the 911, we drove it through Portugal, my dad and I, and it's such an everyday usable car.
Yeah,
you can go shopping with it, but also you can just race the hell out of it on a highway. Just go 250 and just have a good time.
Oh yeah,
shout out.
Amazing.
It's funny, Porsche, like the more I think about it, the more I like the idea of owning a Porsche.
Yeah, and they also have like you can actually, because I know you like Formula 1, you can also get into a Formula 1 monopost and go on the circuit. I saw that you can actually rent that or like get some laps.
Let's go.
So I really want to do that as well, maybe this year. Yeah.
It's great. It's this whole racing thing. It's because I met a guy last year in August in Ibiza at a retreat, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I got a racing driving license. Just got it. It's amateur." He's like, "I can join the Sunday Cups. I can drive. Which people are really good. Like, you know, like I'm not gonna make it into like some crazy league anymore. I'm too old. But some Sunday racing, kicking ass. There's probably really good drivers there too that been doing it for like 10, 20 years for fun, you know? Some dentists, lawyers, and so on and so forth.
I need to get that license now. Thanks for sharing that.
We should both get the license and call it like the online consulting or something, like that.
And race from home via Zoom, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That would, like, come on.
Zoom can be our sponsor. So if you're
we
watching,
sponsor Zoom, because Rolex.
Exactly, yeah.
Get the sponsorship.
Louis Vuitton.
Man, the more I think about it, the more it makes sense, that idea, We'll cut back to this very podcast episode 5, 6, 7, 9 years from now, and we're like, well, we told ya.
Yeah.
Told ya. Yeah, cool. I mean, look, so you're going to go to the States now. How long are you going to stay there?
1 or 2 weeks, something like that. It's not very long. I'm going for a conference, meeting some awesome people there, some entrepreneurs. It's my, I don't know, 6th or 7th time in 1 year or something in the States. I haven't counted anymore.
And then back to Romania?
And then, back to Romania. And then we'll see, because I want to start some things I want to get dirty.
Ooh, getting down and dirty. So when this new project, the Conquering project that you have, is that something you're gonna build a team around? Is that something that you're just gonna do yourself?
It's going to start as an experiment.
Mm-hmm.
For the first phase, I don't need a team. After that, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
And are you still posting on YouTube?
Not anymore. So after I left the business, after I exited the business, I just stopped social media. I disappeared. Lots of people asking me like, "Hey, are you still living? Are you still alive?" So I'm alive. If you're watching this,
I mean, how long have you been on YouTube? It must have been 7 years, 6, 7 years, something like that.
It started in 2017.
Wow.
So
6, 7 years, yeah.
Yeah. And I posted like weekly, and then we had multiple posts, even daily.
Damn.
Yeah. I just put my soul out there. I mean, you know how it is, right?
Yeah.
Because you create content daily and a couple of times a day as well.
It's crazy how you're like, I think back, and like my Instagram started in 2013. And if I scroll back, I'm like, that is a decade on a platform. YouTube kind of the same, but I've had different channels that I built up. But with Instagram, I'm like, holy, and like once Instagram stories came out, because they came out I think in 2016, 15, 16, I posted every day. There's like, I would say like 95% of the days I posted at least one story. Most of the time, like 10 stories per day.
Yeah.
And I just recently realized that I'm like, damn.
10 years, yeah.
I can literally go back and be like, February 2nd, 2017, what did I do? And I just go through my archive. I'm like, oh, cool. I was in blah, blah, blah city eating steak. I mean, I didn't eat steak 2017. I was in Sharon, but what?
You can check.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
literally check. And
That's
that we're the first generation ever that has documented their life to such a great detail for such a long time with such consistency.
Yeah, and I think it's a great thing because at some point somebody asked me to do, like a mentor of mine asked me to do like a 90-year plan.
Wow.
Yeah,
90?
90, yeah.
90?
90. And then, wait for it, that's not the... Then he asked me to extend it to 1,000 years. Like, which
But
is...
you're not going to be alive for 1,000.
Well, yeah, it forces you, but it forces you to think in terms of legacy and all that. I mean, it's a cool exercise. And it was quite hard to fill the 90 years. Like it's lots of time, right? And I asked myself, okay, what would I want from people that lived 100 years ago that were part of my family, you know? And the first thing that popped into my head was like documents or like documentation. I wanted to see how their life, how did they live back then? How was their daily routine? How did it look like, right? So I think that what you said with the Instagram and having this 10-year, you know, of documentation basically of your life, I think will be very powerful for you as well and for us as well when we will be like older and want to share like, hey, this was the world like back in 2017 or 13 or whatever.
I'm wondering, I think about this a lot because I'm like, how long would it be interesting? You know, like if my grandma in the 50s had done Instagram stories and whatever, like they appear right now, like, oh my God, turns out there's Instagram stories from the 50s.
Yeah.
It'd probably be interesting for a day and I'll be, yeah, whatever.
I
You
mean,
know what I mean? Like, is it going to be interesting enough for these people to be like, yo, I don't care. It was shitty back then in 2024, you know? You guys didn't even have holo technology.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I don't think I would watch everything, but I would watch things from my ancestors, like from my grandparents, or I mean, people relative to me, like because, for instance, right now I went through some emotional development phases where I kind of connected with like my grandparents and all that,
Wow.
and felt some things that I didn't feel before about them and all that, and when I went through this, like, and my parents as well, and when I did this, like, I realized that it will be very helpful to have this kind of, documentation to be able to immerse myself better in that environment and what shaped my childhood later and my life right now and my discussions right now, because we are made of this discussion, right? I mean, the whole mentality that we have is passed through generations.
Yeah.
People sitting at dinner tables and discussing all the things. And if you think like 100 years ago, there was like wars and all this shit happening. And because there's this scarcity mindset that lots of people have, and you need to get rid of it in business, right? But where does that come from, right? And it comes from all these discussions
It's
from
in our DNA.
exactly, and it's passed down through language. And identifying that, it helps me, to be able to choose what I want to think in this world, like to what I want to believe.
It's a good point because it's like my thoughts are not just for me, but there's actually slowly but steadily there's the science is catching up with that, and they're now assuming that even psychological life choices that we're making is passed on through our DNA.
Oh yeah.
So now, just like you said, it gives you this whole idea of like, hey, your thoughts, your idea, they're not just going to be yours. It's like you kind of have at least some responsibility towards your kids, your grandchildren, because if you spend your life very fearful with a lot of negative thoughts, you will pass that on in your DNA.
Yeah.
And that's really freaking crazy. And that it really makes you think. And also things, this is really interesting. Like, for example, why are we afraid in the dark? It's such an ancient, weird fear. Completely, complete makes no sense. If I'm alone in my room and I turn the light off and it's completely dark, I kind of get a little scared. Like I feel my back exposed. I kind of have the natural urge to stand with my back against the wall. And the reason why that is, like, here's the crazy thing: when kids are scared in the dark, what are they scared of? They say a monster. I'm scared of monsters, Daddy. The monster is under my bed. They don't say, oh, another human being, a murderer, someone dangerous. They specifically don't say, they specifically don't denote a human monster. They say a monster. You know why that is? Because thousands of years, we humans got killed by wildcats.
Oh yeah.
By freaking saber-toothed tigers. So, as a human, you don't describe that as a tiger. You describe it as a monster.
Yeah.
And when would those monsters be out there? Well, when it's dark, because they see very perfectly in the dark. So that's still that we act with all our civilization and our intellect and our communication and language and the internet like we're above that. Yet, you turn a light off in a room, you're still scared of a cat just because thousands of your ancestors, hundreds of thousands of years ago, got killed by cats.
Oh, yeah, I think that's very, very powerful, and it really has an impact on our lives. And I feel that it's our job, or at least my job. I don't want to speak for everybody, but somebody said at the conference, I don't remember the name, but he said that he is here on this earth to get the poison passed from the past generations, cure it in his life, so he doesn't pass it forward. So I was like, oh, that's cool.
Damn.
That's cool.
But you're probably going to create a whole other poison you're not aware of yet.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, of course, you do some poison.
Now, here's what I wanted to ask you. Is you said something very interesting earlier. You said you've done kind of an emotional journey to connect with your ancestors. Is that euphemism for you did ayahuasca?
No.
Okay.
I
You never know.
Never. I stay away from drugs from all my life, but I went through some mental reprogramming kind of techniques, if you want to tell them. I mean, they are kind of voodoo and
some Romanian witchcraft.
Not Romanian, actually. I mean, I learned them from people in US, actually.
Okay.
But they kind of helped me a lot. Like, I really changed.
Tell me about it. That sounds interesting.
Let's
hear it.
Well, how can I describe it? I mean, basically, all emotions that we have, right, are a way to communicate messages, right? And a lot of people, they don't do things because they are afraid, or they have anxiety, or they have all these labels and emotions, right? But what an emotion is like a way to communicate an information.
Yeah.
And that's unconscious. It comes from whatever, from nowhere, right? Because it's instinctive, right? Our job is to be able to decode that emotion and learn the lesson from it, because it is there. The emotion is there with a good purpose. Like, it wants you to be safe, whatever that safe means.
Yeah.
But safe 1,000 years ago is probably different than what safe now means, right? So being able to decode the message from the emotion that was installed 1,000 years ago or 10,000 years ago makes you able to decide whether you want that emotion in yourself or not anymore.
Ooh.
And it's a very, I spend lots of time doing this, and there are some techniques through which you can do this, but once you do it, you learn some awful things about yourself. Like, you realize that you're not as good as you thought you are.
Damn.
But it gives you control, and it gives you the power to choose whether that kind of behavior serves you or not. And in this way, you basically adjust and create a better software in your head, if you want to put it like this.
So what kind of procedure was that? Was it like meditation? Was it like hypnosis or something like that?
It was meditation as well, and some hypnosis, although I didn't ever believe in hypnosis and all that, but it was like some sort of hypnosis thing that you can actually see that it works. Like, I was able to see it on myself.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you went to a guy in the US and he hypnotized you.
He taught me how to do it, basically.
How to hypnotize yourself.
Yeah. I mean, how to extract the lessons from these emotions, like how to unstuck my brain, how to reprogram my brain, basically.
And how do you do that?
Well, very simple. A very simple way to do it is like every time you feel something, right, that is not going how you want, you ask yourself like, what can I learn from it?
Okay.
But it needs to be like a very, very honest answer, because sometimes you rationalize it. You ask yourself, hey, what can I learn from it? And you say something with your conscious mind that looks good. But I'll give you an example. Let's take an example, because that could be helpful. So I'll take something very simple, like I was in traffic, right? And some guy in a car in front, he crossed a line that he didn't have to cross, right? And I got angry. I felt anger, right? So I wanted to say, hey, why do I feel angry? Because if you would put a child in my place, he would not feel angry, right? Like he wouldn't care. I don't want to care for these stupid things, right? I want to be free to not have anger in my life.
Sorry, do you ask yourself that right a second after you feel that emotion, or like once you calm down, or does it matter?
I usually note them, and when I have time to reflect on things, I just go through them and I bring that up. So it goes into a very interesting spiral, because I learned lots of things from this example for myself. Like, this is amazing. So I asked myself, okay, what can I learn from it? And I learned from it that I wanted to feel better than the person, because I knew better how to drive than him. And I was like, what the fuck?
Wow.
I mean, sorry. What?
You can swear on here.
Okay.
Actually, it doesn't matter.
I was like,
I'm just trying to cut it back in general.
yeah. And I was like, how the hell this is in my head? Because that was the honest answer. If I would be to like say the politically correct thing, I was like, yeah, I wanted to enforce the rules and all that. But in my unconscious mind, it was like, I wanted to feel better because I knew the rules better than the other person. So I went down the rabbit hole here, and what I discovered was that for me, knowing the rules and applying the rules and being able to know the rules was like a safety mechanism, because growing up, for me, being smart was like something safe, because like when I was a kid, I was a bit bullied in school and all that. I wasn't the most popular guy, but I had my cleverness or my smartness, and that was reinforced throughout my life. When anytime I was smart, I got something from life, and I learned that, okay, smart is good. If you are smart, you'll be accepted and whatever and blah blah. So that realization was that being smart for me and smarter than the people around me is like a safe place, and in that has a bad consequence for me, because it means that I need to always be smarter than the people around me. So the consequence of that is that I don't allow people around me to be smarter than me. So I cannot learn, because if I want to be smarter than everybody, like, how can you learn anything, right? So this is like what this rabbit hole exposed in my unconscious mind, or my personality at least, which is, of course, is not cool to say that, right? I mean, but it was part of me. I had to admit that, and kind of become more detached from this importance that I placed on the logic, on being smart, on knowing how to solve problems and all that, and detach myself from that identity and just, okay, be cool without it.
Damn.
Yeah.
That really resonated with me, because for me, it's less being smart. It's more about being hardworking.
Yeah.
It's like the thing about my identity is like, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're smarter than me. You probably are, but I outwork you. Just like you said, like wherever I am, I work harder. To stay with that car example, I drive pretty fast. I drive safe. I've never had an accident, not even close. But I always overtake the other person. I'm literally freaking racing, trying to find the apex and where can I get a gap? Because do I really give a damn if I'm in front of another car? But subconsciously, it's like, it means I work harder because my time is more valuable.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to be at the destination. I get more work done quicker. And that really messed with me in 2015 when I suffered from really, really severe burnout, because my identity was linked to, oh, Max Tornow is the hardworking guy. But then burnout said, like, you're not going to fucking work for a year because it's destroying you. So I'm like, but who am I then? And that, like, complete loss of identity really messes with you. And I'm happy, I'm very grateful that when the burnout hit me, I was in a very good position financially. So there was no reason for me to keep working other than my own ego. So I had to kill that part of the ego and then just be like, I'll just watch PewDiePie for 2 months.
Oh, yeah.
Sleep 14 hours a day. I couldn't even play video games because video games itself was too stressful for me. I watched PewDiePie playing video games on YouTube. And so it's really crazy that you just mentioned that. For you, it was the smart thing.
Yeah.
For me, it was almost like, of course I'm not smart. I don't know nothing. But I'll outwork the guy that is smart. That's been my whole life. I was never the strongest kid in school because I'm a shorter guy. Never the smartest kid in school. I've had classmates, some of my really good friends that are extremely gifted, extremely smart guys. So I never had anything going for me. Nothing. But I'm like, well, I'll just be the guy that has no safety mechanism, that would rather die than lose.
Oh, yeah.
So the smart guy is going to give up at some point. The cool guy is going to give up at some time. The strong guy is going to give up at some point. And that's where I'll not give up. I'll just wait till everybody else gives up. And as long as I'm the last guy standing, I win. I don't care how gifted they are. I don't care how talented they are. I don't care how smart they are. I'll just outwork them. All I need to do is work a little longer than those guys, and I'll win it. And that was also kind of like my credo with my first business in the dating niche. I was just like, I'm not as philosophical and highly intelligent as Owen Cook. My game is not as good as Julian Blanc's. I'm not as charismatic and funny as Jeffy. I'm not as analytical as Todd. I don't care. I'll just work when they're not working. Like, they go to sleep, I'll work. They go have fun with their family, I'll work. I had zero fun with anyone for years until my brand was the one with the most subscribers, most followers, the fastest growing, and all my programs outsold all theirs. And then I was also like, okay, and what now? Because it's like a game you can't win.
That's an empty feeling when you hit that.
Yes. I always say there's only one thing worse than not reaching your dreams, and that is reaching your dreams and kind of realizing nothing changes. Yeah. So reach your dreams because you want them, but don't reach your dreams expecting that things will be different. Because at the end of the day, you're going to sit down, you're going to log into your PlayStation, you're going to eat your food, and you're like, I'm still here, I still feel the same.
Oh, yeah.
So I kind of wish for everyone to achieve all the external ego things that they're looking for. The dating, the women, the validation, the fame, the subscribers, the money. I really wish that for everyone, only to then realize, oh, but there's this other realm I need to work on, which is the spirituality, if you want to call it, the psychological, if you want to call it, the inner game, if you want to call it like that. It doesn't matter what you call it, but and the cool thing is, these things are so beautifully connected because I don't want to advocate and say money doesn't make happy or any of that bullshit. It makes you really happy and it's really awesome. Just don't expect it to change how you think about yourself. And the funny thing is, a lot of these external things that a lot of people want to achieve, the women, the cars, the travel, the money, they require you to think differently about yourself.
Oh, yeah.
They require you to be humble. They require you to be learning, like you said, commit yourself to learning. They require you to fucking fail and think of yourself as dumb, as stupid, as a failure, because if you don't do these things, you're not going to achieve the outside things. And then when you're really consistent and you're smart about it and you get the right help and you don't let yourself you don't let yourself get distracted by failure, then you achieve all these things. And then you're like, okay, now the real work begins, which is the inner work, which is the gratitude, which is looking back, which is, I mean, I've had 4, 5, 6 years that I can't even remember. Like,
oh, yeah.
You probably have the same, like, the grindy years where you're just like grind. For me, it was my world tour. It was just like seminar, YouTube, video cutting, seminar, YouTube, video cutting, seminar. And I'm like, what have I done the last 6 years? Only that. It's like the last 6 years were one big blur. And I was traveling the world when I did that. I was in Chicago, Sydney, LA, Orlando, Stockholm, Berlin, like around the whole freaking world. And I went to all these places, but I didn't actually go to these places.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was just an empty shell. I'm like, this is a photo of me on Times Square, but I can't remember being there. I mean, I can remember it logically, but not
checked Times Square.
Yeah, not emotionally. I wasn't actually arriving there.
Yeah.
I was just there as this empty shell. Hey, mom and dad, I'm Times Square. Look how cool it is. And I'm like, damn, that is kind of cool because I achieved a lot of things without caring. I care so much about the process. But on the other hand, I also let it teach me of like, I'm right here with my homeboy Cristian Dascalu. It's a pretty cool room that we're in. I get to talk about some pretty cool stuff. Later on, we're going to grab some steak. And I'm like, because when you work really hard, your mind is always focused on the next thing. Oh, tomorrow I'm going to wake up. Then I'm going to do this. Okay, once I'm done with the food, the first task I'm going to do is this. And then you finish that task. Like, then after that task is going to be this. Then we're going to get steak. After that, I'm going to go home. But you constantly live in the future, which is good because it makes you productive. It makes you get a freaking plan of the day. But then at the same time, you have to force yourself to snap out of it and be like,
oh, yeah.
I don't need to live in the future. This is pretty freaking cool right now.
This is now, yeah. This is what matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you a couple things. Sorry, first of all, I didn't want to interrupt you. So.
Oh, no. It was great. Like, I'm so glad you brought that up because I feel that it's a conversation that for sure I wanted to hear a couple of years ago. I mean, I think life forces you to go through these changes if you don't take them proactively, right? So I guess it is important for everybody to have a phase of hustling and grinding because I went through that as well, and it was important for me. At some point, you just want to the shortcuts, the cheat codes to life, and I think getting out of that is a cheat code because you get more with doing less, right? So I think that's the ultimate power.
Amen to that. And soon I'll go full circle at how we kind of got to this side tracking thingy here is how are you seeing your YouTube? Are you going to get back on it? Are you going to get back on that old channel? Going to create a new one? What's the deal here? If you know and if you're already allowed to talk about it.
So YouTube is part of the vision. Let's say I will say that. I will say that. I'm not sure yet if that channel or a separate channel, but it is part of the vision. Because for me, content creation for sure is one of the best skills I have, or at least the skill where I feel that with the right amount of work, I can get to the world class level. I feel that I have a bit of natural talent. If I double that with work, because in sales, I know salespeople that I cannot compete with. Neither do I want, to be honest. In programming as well, I did programming. I don't care about that as much, So content creation it hits a chord in myself. So yeah, I'll probably go with that.
Okay, so I've recently talked more and more about primary skill, secondary skill, tertiary skill, and it's very similar. I totally resonate with what you said. My primary skill is content creation. In case you haven't noticed, I love talking. I love hearing myself talking. I love talking to interesting people like you. Sales is also somewhere there, but I would say it's like the third one. I'm decent at it.
What was the second one?
Leadership.
Yeah.
Kind of understanding the. I can understand someone, and I can. It sounds really weird. I can almost read someone's mind if I want to. It's just most of the time I don't, because it does take energy. It does take a lot of focus. So, if there's a really important key figure in a really important situation, for example, a team meeting, for example, a one-on-one talk with an executive in my team, then I just like my energy. My focus is like 90% on that person. It's like I reroute all the energy, and I'm like, now I really want to understand that person, where they're coming from, what their goals are, what their agendas might be, and how can I construct a win-win there. Same in a sales call, for example. That takes a lot of energy, but I can do it. And then same goes also for a group, reading the room, reading the freaking Zoom room, where I'm like, okay, I'm here with my sales staff. What are they feeling? Maybe they're feeling discouraged. Maybe they're feeling cocky. I need to pull them up or push them down, depending on that. So I think that's my secondary skill. My tertiary is connected to that, which is sales. I'm good at it, but I don't like it as much.
Yeah.
I like the freaking camera, microphone, let me ramble. And then the cool thing is there, funny enough, to go fully, my company is built, and I'm sure yours was and your future will be as well, is built in a way so that my primary skill completes someone else's primary skill. So these two together, it's almost like a Gogotron. What are these robots called? You can put them together, and then they turn into an even better robot. You know, like that Rick and Morty Gogotron episode. So it's like my primary skill is talking and creating content and teaching stuff with content creation. Primar's primary skill, our head of visual, is to cut my ramblings into a cohesive, cool edit. Right now, my CMO Robin Bauman's primary skill is to do marketing, to do big picture thinking and thinking, okay, how can I put Max in the best position? And so on and so forth. So in an ideal world, if you really want to scale to $1 million a month and above, is like find other people whose primary skills, not secondary skills, but whose primary skill completes yours.
Yeah.
And together you're creating this epic thing.
Yeah, it's a magical thing when all these things fall into place.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just amazing feeling. Yeah.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
And man, you got to get on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
It's so good.
X now, right? Are you still calling it Twitter?
I
or?
call it Twitter.
Yeah.
So you got to get on X. It sounds like an adult website. Like, what do you want me to do?
I remember Elon Musk was kind of upset because at some interview, people were referring like tweets, were saying tweets, and he corrected them like it's posts now.
It's posts now. That's so funny.
Yeah.
No, I like Twitter because I mentioned earlier I'm a rambler, and Twitter really forces me to make cohesive, nice one-liners that fit into 280 characters.
It seems like a good stream of consciousness there. Yeah.
It's epic. Like my favorite thing in the world to do, it's literally a hobby, is drink coffee in the morning, and then once the coffee kicks in, just spend like 20-30 minutes on X or on Twitter and just knock stuff out. And you have a pre-posting function. So I just like, at some point I have like a month of content prepared for 3 posts a day, just because I keep making more and more posts than I post.
So how's the reach in there? How does it work? Like, do you get like viral organically, like TikTok or other places, or like?
You can if people repost it. So I just started. I got like 300 followers or something like that, and I don't even want to promote it too much because I don't want my current following to go over there. I want to build a native following on Twitter or on X. So the way it works is it's all built on community. So if you compare it, for example, with Instagram Reels, nobody gives a damn about the community. It's more about the algorithm liking it because people react to it, because people share it, sure. But it's less about the sharing in a community aspect, but more about the sharing in an algorithmic aspect. So the algorithm is your overlord there. The algorithm says, people react well to this video. Let's play it out to more people on their Explore page. Yeah. Oh, they still react well. Let's play it out to even more. So the circle, it's almost like a peeling layer of an onion. It goes wider and wider and wider. And then, at some point it stops. So I've had videos that got picked up. They stopped at 500,000 followers. Then I've had videos that kept going to 2.5 million. And then at some point it doesn't hit enough people on the outer layer because it's not general enough.
Yeah.
That then the algorithm is like, all right, now it's done. And then I've had a video recently that hit, I think, 10 million. And now the algorithm is like, okay, now it's kind of done. And with Twitter, the algorithm does not play as heavy of a role. It's more, okay, do a lot of people share this? Like, there's the share button. So, like, who the hell shares stuff on Instagram? Yeah, maybe you share it in your stories. But on Twitter or X, people share it and they automatically repost it. And then other people see it and then they repost it. And other people see it and then they repost it. So it is a similar concept, but it's not as dependent on the algorithm. And that's how it can go viral. Plus, the Twitter app and the Twitter algorithm really prefer you to have conversations. It's a tool that really wants to serve the act of having a conversation. So you want to create something where people then tweet back at you. So you say whatever, hey, hard work is the key to everything. And then somebody comments back is like, I disagree. It's actually about passion. And then their friend sees that on their profile. Because, oh, my friend commented back to Max Tornow about passion. He doesn't know anything about passion. The hell is this? No, I agree. It's actually hard work. And now you have these conversational threads
So it's a public square where you shape opinions, basically.
Perfect, exactly. And where
Yeah.
everybody has equally as loud of a microphone.
Yeah. Equally? Or
Yeah, equally as loud of a mic. Everybody, like I said, like when I say something,
yeah.
when I comment and somebody comments on it, everyone sees that.
Oh, okay, got it. Everyone in your audience, you mean, and their audience as well, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then they can repost it word
Yeah.
by word, and then it says Cristian Dascalu reposted Max Tornow, and it becomes this just as like square of voices.
Is that in Europe as well? Because I had a feeling that is very big in US, but for instance in Romania at least, like people weren't that into it. And I want to ask you about threads as well. Like if you
About what? Oh, threads.
yeah, because it feels like kind of
Similar.
Yeah.
So in regards to Twitter, the funny thing is my opinion, Twitter or X has experienced a renaissance since Elon Musk bought it.
Lots of people say like it went down, but I
'cause
feel
all
the same as you. Like
crazy woke people that say that. So
Yeah.
here's the thing. Twitter at the height of its craziness was just a circus for crazy wokeness.
yeah,
Like whatever you said, you would get canceled. Like it's the craziest woke mob ever. And then Elon Musk bought it for exactly that reason. And all the woke people left because they're like, this sucks. Because Elon Musk would like reinstate people like Donald Trump. I think Andrew Tate also had been blocked or something. They come back. And now all of a sudden, a lot of really cool creators coming back. Because for me, it was the exact same reason. I don't want to join Twitter because I have zero interest in some crazy woke mob
yeah.
trying to put things out of context just to play to their own power hungriness, to their own power hunger. So I was like, I'm not going to be on there. But then Elon Musk bought it, and a bunch of creators that I really admired, like Dan Cole, for example, I'm like, this guy does some really cool Twitter stuff. And then I got on there, and then I saw a lot of other cool creators that started at roughly the same time. And I'm like, where's the crazy woke mob that I was scared of? Oh, they're all gone. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's have a good freaking time. And now it's like you go on there and it's just like, it's as if you would like read the Bible, like a specific quick verse. You're like, oh, don't do what you don't want other people to do to you. That's a pretty cool. So it's like this, you just log on and you get these quick little value nuggets, these like 3-4 liners.
Oh, really? From Twitter?
Yeah.
Oh, they installed that. Wow.
No,
Was that
I mean,
before?
you go on your Twitter feed and all the people that you follow, you see all their cool freaking value nuggets.
Got it.
Like I go there and I see Alex Hormozy posted something. I'm like, that's a cool freaking thought.
Yeah.
And it's again because they only have 280 characters. I mean, of course, you can make longer posts now too, but the vast majority is 180 characters. Most people really think about what they want to say, and they really try to compress it, right? So a lot, like a thought that could be a whole page of describing something now gets compressed into 280 characters. So it's really valuable. So you're like, this is a really cool one-liner. It totally makes sense. Thank you. And what I often do, and this is completely me being completely transparent, most of my content I've been posting with the last couple months was just cool one-liners that I found somewhere, and I just wrote them down because I want to learn from them. And then I'm like, how can I adapt this to my niche? How can I give it my own personal twist? And then out of that, I create whole YouTube videos, like 25-minute crazy YouTube videos, just because I saw a thought from someone. I extrapolated it onto my audience, my niche, with my own personality to it. And I'm like, this is cool because I learned from this. And here's what else I have to say on top of that. Here's how I interpret that into this slightly different area. And I think, just like you said so nicely before, we're just a conglomerate of ideas. Our culture, our family is just passing on of ideas. And I don't just want to keep great learnings that I learn on Twitter or from a YouTube video or from a book for myself. I want to pass it on. I want to recycle it, add cool stuff to it, and then pass that on. And I would also be really honored whenever people do the same with me. And so I think we as a collective, we evolve.
Yeah.
We become better. We become hopefully better people, more productive people, more creative people, more loving people, more accepting people, more respecting people. I hope that somehow, as long as we can stay in discourse and be critical and have not an egoic attachment to our ideas, I think that's what we really need as humanity. And on a side note, as a side effect, you can make a ton of money off it. You create content, you create a following, you can sell something valuable to them. Now they talk about it. Now you sell more. So it's the most amazing thing in the world for me personally.
Yeah, language shapes our reality. So
Amen.
having this kind of thing where you can go and test your ideas at least, because you see how people react, how you get a feedback of their model of the world, because reality is like the average view of the world, like how everyone sees the world. Like if we have like a 50 euro like money thing, how do you call it? Like the
50 euro bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have like a 50 euro bill, like it's a 50 euros because everyone agrees that's 50 euros, right? Same with ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Like what we all believe as a collective gets real. So if you can influence that and contribute that to other people's minds, and you can spread your ideas like viruses, you can, if you have a good idea,
Ideas are like viruses.
it gets replicated, and you can change the reality basically.
I had no idea that our conversation today is going to be that philosophical, and I love it. I thought, yeah, we're going to talk about business. No, we just went completely into a rabbit hole and talk about philosophy, but it's really cool, man.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever had a conversation this long.
I don't think so. No, yeah.
Or at least this random. I mean, we've talked a lot about your business stuff, you had questions and that.
I'm curious about your business, how's it going? Like if
Very
you want
good.
to if you want to talk about it, like.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, where should I start? So the last year, 2023, I've spent almost the entire year only on sales.
You yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, not really closing myself, but like getting the team on point. This whole outbound calling. Before that, we were only focused on inbound. People that book an application.
I remember, yeah.
Then we started doing outbound stuff. People that opt in, outbound calling them, scheduling them. So it's like every single level of sales I was crucially involved in until it was good. And then when it was good, I looked at the parallels that made it good, at the recurring themes that made it good, made systems around that, made internal trainings around that, hired an executive for that, created the training for the executive for that, the control mechanisms, the communication paths between me and them and the team, them and marketing and blah, blah, blah. And I did this on every stage. I did this with like outbound calling, inbound setting, inbound closing, outbound closing, after closing, coaches, delivering, onboarding calls, offboarding calls, upsell calls. That was like the whole year was just this grind. And that's also how I got to the idea of like, I'm pretty good at that. But at the end of 2023, I'm like, I don't like this. I'm pretty good at it, but it's not at all what I want to do.
Like in terms of business, or like in terms of like the sales structure of the sales department?
In terms of business, like again, like I was pretty good at it and it was necessary to be done.
Yeah.
It's my freaking company. I didn't want to outsource responsibility. I got great mentors, and instead of being like, here's the mentoring sales team, go figure it out, I was like, let's do this. Let us. Who fits into what position? Who needs to be let go? Who do I really want to keep? Who do I want to groom and grow into an executive position, and so on and so forth. So I did it for a whole year, and then at the end of the year, I was so in the grind that I didn't even realize what was going on. And at the end of the year, I discovered Twitter. And next thing I know, I'm like on Twitter, I'm like posting. I'm like, this feels so good. Why does it feel so good? And then I'm like, okay, let's start doing YouTube. Again, pick up YouTube again. Like, oh my God, I freaking love YouTube. And then I realized, hold on a second, that's what I've always loved. Just create content. And because the last year I was quote unquote forced to figure out the sales stuff, I'm now so hyped on content. And that's where I reignited the podcast. I mean, this podcast has over 200 episodes, but I didn't want to just do the 10-minute quick episode monologues. I want to get good guests on it. I wanted to talk, and I want out of that to have little clips, snippets for reels, short form videos, long form 9-10 minute YouTube videos from that. And I just wanted to get back to this content factory like I've always been.
Yeah.
Just get me out there. I started recording all my client calls in case I go on a cool rant. We have hours of short form videos that I haven't even published just from rants from my last client calls, because I do so many client calls every week. I record everything, and I love that so much. And I really realized this is what I want to do the whole time. But at the same time, it was necessary for me to take a hiatus from that, figure out a lot of other stuff. Also because I talk about this now, right? So I figured out the sales structure, the sales management over a year and a half. And now a lot of my content is about that.
Oh yeah, and
the
it's very
content-
valuable for sure if you had the first-hand experience.
Yeah.
And I really like in your content how you present this other side of being a business owner, right? Because it's not all like traveling and all
Yeah.
that. And it seems like you kind of committed to add this to your brand, like to show people like, okay, this is the real shit. Like this is what's happening.
It's
day
awesome
to day.
that you noticed that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Robin,
Yeah.
aka our CMO, who's like, you need to do more like the. Okay, Christian noticed it. All right.
Oh yeah,
It's good.
And I think it's a good fit for you, for your brand, because you are this, like you work, like you
Yeah.
are a great hustler, and you dive deep into work and you get shit done and all that. So it's very natural. So yeah.
I'm really hyped that you noticed that. Thank you. Because if you look at my brand's history, we also tap more into the travel lifestyle and it's so easy. And true, it is freaking easy for me. But at the same time, if you expect it to be easy, you're gonna have a hard time.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm sick and tired because sometimes you are just gonna grind. And a lot of times in the past, I was like, okay, I'm now a month at home just working every day. If I post that, we would lose sales because people would say, "Oh, but it's so difficult." Da-da-da. I want to do the other thing instead, the whatever crypto investment. But then I'm like, do I really even want to serve these people? If they want something, and then I came up with this tweet of like, you either commit yourself to something legit and hard work for years, or you fall for the easy stuff and get scammed.
Yeah.
There is no fucking easy.
I
okay?
like what you said. Do I really want to serve these people? And I think that's very powerful. Like to be able to say no, I don't want to work with you. You know,
Yeah.
and just really define your niche. And I'm just going to work with these people. And if you have this kind of traits, I no, thank you. Right.
Who do you want to serve with your new stuff? I'm trying to extract as much info out of you as possible.
I will say Eastern Europe as a keyword, but not saying more.
Is it gonna be in English or Romanian?
He's good. He's
I
good.
know I'm good at it.
He's good. He's good. He wants to extract things from me.
Yeah.
The thing is, I have the idea, but it might pivot in the near future. So that's why I don't want to give the details, because then I will change my mind.
Okay.
So
Don't wanna settle on anything.
it will remain here, and yeah.
All good. Okay. I'm really trying to get out as much. Oh yeah, I mean, hell,
Yeah, sure.
All by all means, man.
And we go snowboarding afterwards. And
Yeah,
we
let's
make
go. Oh, you already tried to convince me to go snowboarding.
Oh,
I'm
that
down
would be
already.
awesome.
Like these DJ guys, these DJ sets that they do at like crazy
Yeah.
locations with the
Yeah.
drone shots and stuff. Yeah, I mean,
I love that.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I mean, you need electricity somehow. We can get like like one of these like these cables that you can roll out. You plug it into like one of the houses there and take it out and sit somewhere there. The thing is the weather, because if it's too sunny, you sit out an hour or two in the sun with the snow reflecting, you get sunburnt. Like, remember when we toured through the Dolomites, we got sunburnt as hell. But when it's too cold, like, you just freeze to death sitting there.
Yeah.
So we got to, but I think so around April, March, you can do it. In Austria, there's still gonna be snow.
Yeah, I hope in Romania as well, but they all come here if not. Because in Romania in December there was no snow, and I was like, come on, I want some winter. I want some.
We had a great start of the season. I had two of the best days this season right away in December, way earlier than usual, and now it just sucks. It just went back to suck. Yeah, there's no snow, nothing.
Whoa.
It's really, really sad. And that's, another thing, like, imagine you're a ski lift owner. No matter how hard you work, no matter how smart you are, no matter how good the investment is, the weather's not there, you're fucked. And with online, you're like, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, the pandemic can come, right? And
Same.
online, you can do whatever. I mean, for us, for instance, in the pandemic period, it was, of course, not a good period for the whole world, but for us, it was good, right?
Yeah.
We closed lots of people.
And traveling was the best thing ever.
Yeah.
The traveling was so, because the crazy thing is, like, the mainstream media almost made it seem like it's impossible to travel.
Yeah.
And then you spent like 5 extra minutes of Googling, and you're like, oh no, I can totally go to this country. I don't need anything. So you go to the airport and it's empty. I remember, I still have footage of a completely empty airport. And just me, woo, hello, Hello.
Yeah, they just plant fear in
Best thing ever.
And I actually think that the weather systems are made to show rain so that people don't go out of homes. I don't know. I mean, this is like very very not scientifically tested at all, right? So it's just a crazy thought. But
What would be who would profit from people not leaving the house?
I have no idea. I mean, if we go the conspiracy rabbit hole,
Let's go.
We can go there. But like every time I see like in weekend is raining, I always go because I don't care, and it's always sunny, right? I mean, it's crazy. I don't know what happens. I mean, they must be doing something wrong there, or like do it on purpose.
Maybe it's the lizards who want to be outside, you know. We can't have the normal humans be outside.
Yeah, they control us, and yeah, just don't come to the seaside. You now stay in the cities.
We need the sunlight, the lizard people.
Stay in the apartments there.
You have an Oura ring? Is that an Oura ring, or is that just a regular random ring?
Yeah, it's an Oura ring.
Because you asked me earlier, what is this? This is a Whoop band.
Oh yeah.
And it basically does the same.
Yeah.
But apparently it's a little bit more accurate, I guess.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I got so addicted to it. So I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is I check the app, and I'm like, how's
Yeah.
my recovery?
Yes.
Oh, it's 93%. Yeah. I'm like, I don't even want to feel how I'm feeling. I want the app to tell me.
Yeah.
So
That's
fun.
crazy, right? I do the same. Like,
Yeah, and then you feel really good, and you're like, what? 70% recovery. Oh, I feel the tiredness of my headache.
only that kind of sleep. I had this actually. I think today I slept very well, and the app said like 70 something score, and I was like,
Stay in
this is
bed,
not
man.
true.
Call the
Conspiracy.
So lizard people.
These are people that are trying to scam me. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, I like Java ring because I can. I haven't tried that. What I feel is like this. I don't feel it wearing when I sleep, and I can take. Oh yeah. OCD here. Alert. So I think I can take this in the sauna, into swimming pool, and all that. I don't know if you do that with the Whoop.
No idea. I haven't been to the sauna, but I signed a new apartment, and I have a sauna in it. So I'll go every day now.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Where's the apartment?
Not gonna say.
Okay.
Not
So
gonna say.
you're choosing a location now?
Yeah. Apartment signed, and
I mean, not street. I mean, is it Vienna, or is it I'm doing the same as
it's
you?
a different country. It's a different country.
Okay.
And the thing is, I have 2 office rooms there. So my whole idea is like cameras. So here's what I want. So I'm gonna have a treadmill desk and a regular desk right next to each other, and in the middle I have like a camera crane thingy, like a mini tripod crane with one camera and a circular light around it.
I love it.
So that's one camera for YouTube videos, but I'm gonna have another camera that I will use as a webcam. So all my Zoom meetings with my client and with my team are even higher quality.
Got it.
And then I have a third camera that is going to film vertically for Reels.
Love it.
Whatever I do, whoever I talk to, first of all, they're gonna have really crisp, nice quality of my face.
And you also have the recording.
I have the recording in case I want to use it for YouTube in horizontal format, and have the recording in case I use it for Reels in vertical format. And because I don't like it when people take horizontal footage and then they try to cut it into vertical format. So I'm like, why just buy a camera for what, $1,000 and just have 3 of them?
Yeah.
And I can't do that when I travel too much, because I have to set it up, like you're in some villa in Cyprus in an Airbnb, and it's like the dinner table, and you set it up on like 3 pots, because you don't have a tripod that fits for this location. So I just want to sit down and be like, buck, just like press 3 buttons, all camera, boot up, everything recording, lav mic, and off we go.
Yeah.
And then it's somehow got to feed into like hard drives automatically, and I think I will be even more productive with creating content than I am right now.
Content capturing, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I mean, I really like that idea, like automating the content, and because you spend a lot of time probably at desk and team meetings and all that, and there are lots of value nuggets. I remember when we had the like daily sales meetings in person, like at some point I asked people to record me, because there were like lots of awesome insights
really
there,
good
like
stuff.
And that's very precious information. I mean, for Romania, for instance, like where they do not know how to sell. I mean, I've seen some sales trainings there. They are like the quality is not as good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that was very valuable for the market there and all that. But
Well-
you have some Romanian following as well. Like they probably.
Damn right. But
Yeah.
I'm happy you basically just confirmed that your next project is going to be sales training.
No, it's
So
not. No,
Eastern Europe, sales training, Cristian Dascalu.
I could. I know I could.
I know you could, for sure.
I know, yeah. That would be like easy thing.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
There are great salespeople in Europe, man.
Yeah.
I love them.
You're one of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
My man, we got to wrap things up. Where can people find you? Instagram, website, YouTube?
Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, all that.
Ooh,
Yeah.
all of them.
Yeah, all of them. I'm there. Just that for now. Yeah.
We're going to link everything down below.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you for the invite. Cool vibes. I love it. Every
It
time.
was epic.
every time we meet.
I could tell that you're so used to YouTube and stuff because the conversation starts taking off right away.
Yeah.
Like I could tell sometimes you got a great entrepreneur, made a lot of money, but is not used to talking.
Yeah.
And then you have to pull out answers out of their nose. But for you, it was like, oh, this guy's on. Let's go. Let's have him
Yeah.
rant as much as I can.
I mean, I used to be like very introvert and all that, but you know, when I started YouTube, I had to speak because nobody speaks if you if you turn on the camera. And, yeah, so yeah, you naturally develop it. I mean, I'm sure that lots of people can get a lot better, like if they want that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what? Just to wrap things up, what for fellow introverts here, listen, because I'm also a huge introvert.
Yeah.
People don't know.
Yeah.
I'd
you
love
don't seem
not-
like.
I know. I mean, ask Primoz when we work together. We have this rule to not talk.
Yeah.
Like if he needs something, even though he sits at the same table,
Slack.
we WhatsApp each other.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I don't like having to talk to people unless it's for content or friends hanging out. But like when I work, I don't want to get distracted. I'm just full on like. What was it? What helped you? Because you don't look like a introvert at all.
Oh man, come on. I mean, I was introverted when I started. I went to the college and I started playing guitar.
Mhm.
And of course, when you play guitar with a group of people, you naturally get into the center of the attention. And I started to react to that in a way that was more pleasant and start communicate easier. Because up until that point, I was kind of running from the attention. I didn't want it. And then I started YouTube, and of course, YouTube, and I edited my own videos for a lot of time. And when you see yourself hours and hours in the edit, and you get frustrated, like with the mimic of your face and the tone of your voice because it doesn't sound good and it's like super boring, you kind of start to develop some sort of a charisma, right? Because a lot of times I recorded a YouTube video and I had to re-record it because of the edit. I noticed like, okay, this is shit. I can't. There's no emotion. There's nothing. So I guess that built into a habit, and then having the business, having live calls, sales calls, and just being able to speak as I sleep. Basically, I can go for hours if I want without stopping, like
Nice.
just rambling on things. So I think this was the training that I got by the life situations where I was put, because I was a software engineer. So, and software engineers, at least my experience is that I prefer not to talk. Just stay there, code, be in my own world, talk with the computer, write the lines of code, which is beautiful. I like that period. In the same time, being able to express my thoughts and being able to send the vibe, because in a sales call, you cannot just talk, logically.
Yeah.
You need to, to be like emotional maybe, and know how to pivot the vibe of the call if you need to, right? So I had to learn that, and I learned that by listening to myself and all those things. Yeah.
Damn, man. Well, you look happy. You look very well accomplished. You look healthy, and appreciate you. I really do.
Yeah, and man, huge thanks to you as well, like, and you and your team, like, you really helped us, and myself as well. You had an impact on my life. So I think this goes without saying, because I said it in other times, but I want to mention that as well again here. So yeah, thank you for appearing in my life at the right time and having an impact there. I appreciate it.
Amen to that. Let's get some steak.
Let's go.
GG.
GG, man.
Beautiful, man. That was really, really good one, dude.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
Sick philosophy ramble, man.